Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. I'm Josh Strife Hayes, and in this episode of Cardboard Cosplay, we are going to make Cloud Strife's fusion sword from the Final Fantasy VII Advent Children film. As with all these cardboard cosplay videos, it's designed so you can follow along at home as well. If you would like to join in, you will need lots of cardboard, lots of duct tape, and something to act as a handle and a core for the sword. I'm using some gardening stakes from Wilko's, but a broom handle will do just as well. Now, Final Fantasy VII is one of my favourite games. Indeed, it's where the Strife in my name comes from. It's one of the best-selling PlayStation games of all time, and is world-renowned for being one of the best RPGs ever. In it, you play Cloud Strife and use his iconic weapon, Buster Sword. Buster Sword is a massive, hulking, heavy blade, and in the film Advent Children, they decided to pay homage to Buster Sword, not by making the same sword, but by making several different swords that clip together to look like Buster Sword. People refer to this as Neo Buster Sword, but it's now known as the Fusion Sword. So that is what we are making. We are making a copy of the Fusion Sword to walk around at cosplay conventions. This sword will be cosplay, which means it will not break apart into all the individual components, although that is a plan for the future. This one will simply be one hulking blade that looks like it's made up of all the bits. First thing we'll need to do is work out the length and width of the blade. I don't have any exact measurements, so I decided to estimate, and I guess the width of the blade is roughly the width of a sheet of A4 paper. So I'm going to cut all my cardboard out to the width of a sheet of A4 paper, lay it on the table, and work out how long I think that blade should be. Roughly about the same height as I am, so about 174 centimetres, that's how long the blade's going to be. Let's get cutting some cardboard. It seems conveniently this cardboard is exactly the right width for the blade. Now I've got what I believe is the length. I will need two of this exact shape of cardboard, one on one side of the blade, one on the other side. But for now I need to cut down because the tip of the blade is not a square. The tip of the blade has an angle on it. I'm not sure what the exact angle is, but I'm going to guess looks to be around 45 degrees, something like that. So I'm going to cut an angle here, and once I've got the angle cut, I'm going to cut another exact copy of that out. Remember, I've got no measurements here, I'm just kind of guessing and I'm just going with it. If you're making this at home, you don't need to be perfect. Just get as close as you can and then refine and refine and refine. So let's cut the angle and then double up on the cardboard. That's two blade lengths cut out right here. Now we've sorted the tip of the sword, it's at an angle, but that's not the only part of the sword that we need to change. If you look at the bottom, near the handle, I'll bring up an image on the screen right now. This is from one of the Final Fantasy video games. It's not the highest resolution picture, but it serves our purposes nicely. You'll see the front of the blade has a little indent just before it gets to these four big blocks of metal. And the back of the blade, again, has this small indent. This is because the shape of the blades that make up the fusion sword are not all uniform, they're not all the same. We need to build these indents now. So I've got to work out exactly how big I want those four blocks to be at the bottom, and then cut in slightly. All of the details on top we will be building up in layers. Don't worry too much about the details yet. Let's just get the exact shape. If that was just one flat picture, let's get that shape now. I'm going to roughly guess where I think they would be, and I'm going to cut them out right now. The two parts of the blade now have the correct details added to the bottom. Before I attach these to the handle, I'm going to go around and fill in any of the gaps that are there because the cardboard boxes I used had these gaps to need as handles. It's not essential that I fill them in, it's just going to make for a smoother finish on the blade. So let's cut out some small bits of cardboard, fill in all these gaps. Once the gaps are filled in, I need to tape both edges of the blade to the handle. Once you've got both pieces of cardboard filled in and there are no gaps, we're going to need to attach one of these to the handle. This is a very important part of the building process. This will be the half of the blade that takes all the weight of the cosplay. As the other half will not be attached to the handle, it will be attached to the blade. If I could attach both blades to the handle, I would do, but there's no way to do that with cardboard. I'm going to wrap so much duct tape around this handle here that it completely holds it to the blade. Then I put the second part of the blade on top and I tape that to it. Very important thing. Let's look at the handle again down here, the guard. You'll notice that there are those 4 kind of metal boxes, metal squares that have bolts in them. I can't just tape these to each other flat. It won't look very good. That's not how the sword looks. So I'm going to need to add a little bit of cardboard layering in here in the middle. So this is actually taped together as more of a box, more of a 3D solid box. The blade itself, however, no problem at all. I can bend that and just tape that to itself. First step, attach this cardboard blade to the handle. Second step, put the next part of the blade on top. Cover it all in duct tape, make sure there's a small buffer zone down here to make this nice and 3D. Then the whole thing will be covered in black duct tape and solid. It's going to take a while, so time lapse. I've attached the first half of the blade to the handle using a lot of duct tape, and I'm pretty happy with the size. This looks about right, this looks about decent. I've also built the 2 little buffer blocks that are going to be placed on the inside at the bottom of the blade there near the hand guard, which means when the next blade layer is put on top, this bit will be nice and chunky, nice and thick at the bottom. It'll look like an actual metal block. We'll paint all the details on later. Next step is to duct tape these 2 bits here and here, layer this next half of the blade on top, and then wrap the entire thing, and I mean entire thing, in black duct tape. That's going to give us a real strong base to work from. So attach these 2 blocks, cover the whole thing in tape. Let's go. Because Buster Sword, or in our case, the Fusion Sword, has such an iconic shape, it's already recognisable as a cosplay. The duct tape is put onto both sides, it's holding its own. It's actually pretty heavy. If I try and hold this out with one hand, it's possible, but you're gonna get tired after a few minutes of doing that. So it's a good thing the handle is so long. We could quite easily paint all the extra details onto this and call it a day. That would be a perfectly acceptable cosplay to walk around town wielding this. Everyone would know Cloud Strife, Buster Sword or Fusion Sword, but we're not going to do that. We're going to do it the hard way. The blade is made up of multiple blades added together, so we need to build those. We need to build the blades that go along the back, the ones with the handle that comes down here. We need to build the little flip blades that clip onto the front here, and then we need to build up the 4 metal boxes here with the bolts. And then finally, we need to bind the handle in something red and add on the big bolt to the end of the big nut to the end of the handle. So the next thing I'm going to do is look at all the blades that actually build up the Fusion Sword. I'm probably going to start with the blades on the back here, build 2 of those just out of cardboard, and then tape them down to give it that real thick, chunky effect. So let's get building. I've cut out 2 of the edge blades that go on the back of this blade. They'll be connected up there, down to there. Then the handle design will be added on, one of these blades on each side. So now I need to tape this to this side and that blade to the other side. I want to take a second to talk about why cardboard. People ask me that quite a lot. Why cardboard? If I've got access to all of the expensive plastics and all the expensive tools, why cardboard? Well, when I was a kid, I really wanted to cosplay. I loved the idea of making things from films or video games or TV shows, and I watched endless videos and read all the books about people making these incredible things out of stuff, but it was always really expensive and just out of my reach. I didn't have the space or the room to fit any of the equipment I'd need. I didn't know where to buy any of the expensive stuff. I didn't know how to use it, and I was nervous. So I used what I had, which was cardboard and duct tape. I spent so long doing that as a kid, I ended up enjoying it. And now I think there are probably people out there, just like I was when I was younger, who want to do cosplay, who really want to build something, but are also put off or intimidated by the cost, or by the fact that if you go wrong, you may have wasted quite a bit of money. So cardboard and duct tape is the easiest and cheapest way for me to make things quickly and have fun while I'm doing it. Cosplay should be available for everyone, regardless of your financial situation. So no matter what you make it out of, don't let anyone ever tell you you are doing it wrong. Cosplay is fun, and if you are having fun, you are doing it right. So let's attach these 2 blades to the back side of the sword. Let's talk about going wrong and learning from your mistakes. I'll admit I just made a mistake, and I'll show you what I did wrong. If you look at the picture of the fusion sword, you'll notice that the blades that I'm currently making, the blades on the back, have these semicircular cut-out sections in the middle. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I can count 7 of them if you include that half one at the very tip. 7 cut-out semicircular sections, and I completely forgot to put them on. So I've just started sticking this down with no semicircular sections in it. If this was expensive plastic or any kind of expensive material, I might be feeling quite down about that right now because it's all stuck down and secure. Not a problem. We simply get a blade, we cut down, the duct tape will come off relatively simply when you cut it. We can peel this blade off, cut them in, and then put it down. If you make a mistake, not a problem, just say, okay, how do I fix this? Let's carry on. This is where we're at so far with the blade. I've now added both of those, what would be 2 extra swords, onto the back of either side. We've got a few more things to add until we're finished. If we're being pedantic, I should add a blade onto the front here on both sides so it looks the same either way, but I believe we can get away with those details through painting. You'll notice I haven't duct taped down every part of this back edge blade because I quite like the 3D effect where it sticks out and you can physically see that it's a separate entity from the core of the sword. The next thing to do is to add on the 2 blades that come down here with the curved back part. The blades that have those handles that flick out if you've seen the actual film. Again, I'm going to need 2 of them, and I'm going to draw them and kind of guess the measurements by just layering cardboard on top, seeing what looks right, and making 2. So, let's go! Both sides of the blades that have the fold-down handle have been created. Got a bit of 3D relief going on with them, with this little quarter of a circle bit here and what would be the handle. I need to attach these to it. Just like the back part of the blade, I'm not going to attach duct tape down the whole thing because I like this 3D effect of it popping out. So we'll have attachment down the bottom, attachment at the top. Then I need to make the boxes for this handguard bit down here. So again, it really pops out. Let's get these attached down now, and then let's cut the boxes out and stick them on too. Both the smaller blades have now been added on to either side. What I've done for the little square things at the bottom is I've made 4 for each side of these little bits of cardboard. It's just 2 layers of cardboard duct taped together. Then I've taped them down to there. When we spray paint this, we'll be able to paint the top silver, so it's highlighted, and then take a thin, fine black pen or black paint and go in between to give the illusion of depth. Well, the reality of depth, what we've actually built. I've added it to this side already. I need to add it to this side, and then we can start spray painting. So let's finish this and get it all painted silver. After it's painted, we bind the handle and then add some highlights and some details on with paint, such as the intricate design for the clip on this quarter circle bit for the sword handle. It's looking really good. I'm really happy with this. It's a lot heavier than I thought it would be. Holding it out with one hand is really hard. Oh, how did Cloud do this? Okay. Back to making. I've added 2 final details before we go and spray the first coat of silver paint. I've added a little bit of cardboard wrapped around just under the guard of the blade, top of the handle, because it has this nice chunky effect, and I've added cardboard wrapped around the very base of the handle there to give this big chunky 3D kind of nut and bolt style effect. This is all we need for the blade. Let's go and paint it. And here is the blade painted. Now the shape of the blade is not going to change. We have finished building the actual actual item itself, we just need to add a few final touches. I've got red electrical tape to wrap around the handle as a binding. I've got some grey paint to add on to the very bottom of these outer saws to create the handles. I've picked up a few nuts and bolts to glue down to these bottom square sections above the handguard. Cut through some bolts there, got the glue for that. And then I've got some permanent markers where I can draw on the lines and just add some final edging. The design for this little twisty bit just here of the smallest sword, that's simply going to be drawn on with permanent marker. So final touches, let's go. And finished. One fusion sword from Final Fantasy VII Advent Children, made entirely of cardboard, duct tape, a little bit of paint, and a few additional extras. Just the washers and the nuts glued down there. I'm really happy with how this has turned out. This looks absolutely awesome. Whole thing cost about 15 to 20 quid and only took about 2 days to make. If you've been following along at home, please let me know how your build is going. I would love to see what you guys have created as well. As usual, thank you very much for joining me and watching. My name's Josh Strife Hayes, and if you'd like to chat with me live 5 nights a week, I am on Twitch at twitch.tv/Josh Strife Hayes. Don't know what I'm going to make next on Cardboard Cosplay. If you have any suggestions, please let me know. But for now, take care, thank you for watching, and have a good night. I don't like asking this because it never sounds genuine, but content creators live and die by YouTube metrics. So if you've enjoyed the video, a like and clicking the bell would mean a lot to me. Okay, thanks. Have a great day.